Hey everybody, welcome to the third video in our series where we're basically building our Django View app. In the last video, we built out authentication, we built out our notes model. Again, if you wanted to kind of make it more customizable, I would recommend reading like the REST framework documentation, so that way you can create set it up in a way where basically each node is accessed by a unique user. We're gonna keep it real simple. You log in, you can add notes. Wonderful. But we have the server running. I want to go head back over to the front end application. So I'm going to create another terminal window. Okay, and then I'm going to go cd into note front end or note front end. Okay, and then I'm going to type in npm run serve to run the view server. Okay, and let's see what we got. It's running, doing the thing. And there's our app at the moment. And actually, now that I think about it, what I would like to do is actually add something called router to that. Okay, because I don't think we did last time. So let's see here. Source, did we? No, we did not. So before I do anything, let's add that. So to do that, you're just going to use the view CLI. Just do view, add router in the front end folder. And that's just going to rebuild your project using the router. Router is going to allow us to kind of create routes on the front end. I'm going to say no, I don't want history mode because it requires some extra setup. And now we're built with router. And now I'll type in npm run serve. Cool. Okay, so this is going to look pretty much the same as before, except now, so you have these links. Because it's essentially how router works, is you can switch between multiple pages. And see, you see over here, you can see the URL kind of change too. That's the beauty of router. Okay, but now that's set up. We have router in our view project. So let's take a look at our source code. Okay, app.view should just really be the router. Now what I want to do is I want to create a header and a footer, so that way this is, it looks consistent throughout the different pages. So above this, I'm going to want a header component. So in Vue, the way we do this is we're going to create some new components. So I'm going to go inside the components folder here. Okay, and we're going to create some components. I'm going to create a new. That's pretty much what we'll do in this video. We'll create our header and footer. So header dot view. Okay. Do you want file? Yeah, whatever. New footer dot view. And I'm going to use a component library called Buefy. So let me show you how to install this. Okay, so type in, go to buefy.org. Okay, and I want to install it. So yeah, right here is where we install it. So I do have to kill the server again, or I can just open up another terminal. I'd have to kill the terminal anyways, server anyway. So let me just kill the server. Okay, and then do an npm install Buefy. I'm pretty sure that's the command. So where is it? npm install Buefy. Yep. So we're gonna install that. That's gonna install this component library that's built on Bulma for use in Vue. So allows Bulma, a component library, to be really easily used in Vue, and I'll show you. It's really easy. Okay, and now to install it in Vue, just find right here. You just copy these 3 lines here, and we just have to copy that into our main.js. That's sort of our main file where we would install things in Vue. It's kind of like what connects the HTML to our Vue project. Okay, and that's installed. And again, I live in Brooklyn, so there's lots of sirens, so be aware. But now that that's installed, we can start using Buefy components. Okay, so let's run that server again. And first, let's go to Buefy and let's find their sort of navigation component. We'll use that. Nav, layout, and elements. I think there's already a nav component in here somewhere. Here we go, nav bar. So I want to use this. So let me customize it right from here. No. So the way this works is you copy this into your component in view. So I'm just going to copy this template code here. I'm going to head over to view. I'm going to head over to my header component. I'm just going to paste that. Okay, so there's my template. Then in view, I need a script tag. This would probably be easier to do in VS Code. Okay, and then all I want to do here is set up my little view instance thing. So the name of this component is going to be header. Okay, and right now it's just I'm just leaving the default template up there. I'm gonna hit well, it should automatically save. So then I'm gonna go back to my app.view. They pulled out the script tag here, so I have to add that back in. So script, that's what happens when you install router. It just pulls that out of the app component. In here again, I have to export default. This component is called app, so name app. What's important though is that I bring in the component. So I want to import header from, this will be from ./components/header.view. Okay, so I'm bringing that in and I'm registering that here. So now I have to create a thing called components, which is an object that takes in the different components I'm bringing in. So header is now imported. So now I can plop header right above my router view. So the router view is where the pages are going to show up. So I want the header to be above that and the footer to be below that. So there's the header. And I have a template that already kind of has this all set up. I'll show you guys how to use that later on. But this way you can see how it's done the long way. So the header is installed. So now if I go back to the view front end and I hit refresh, see now we see the Buefy header here up top. Okay, but none of these links work. But here again, if I click these two links here, it's still changing the routes. I don't really want this up here. I want this to be part of the navigation menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two router link tags and just cut them right out, because I'm going to use them inside my header component. So that becomes like that. So then I head over to header. Just paste these links over here for now. First I want home, so I'm going to take that out, cut, find where the first link is in all this code. Here we go, home. So paste that there. And then about, let me get rid of this little pipe. Cut this one, about, cut. So again, these links basically link to routes in your router, which we'll get to in a second. So I'm going to actually paste that over documentation. Okay, so home, about, save. So now if I go back over here, see that all changed, and now see we have home and about, and when I click them, the page changes. I'm still only loading up one page. Still doesn't quite look the way I'd like it to look. So I'm gonna, work on customizing this a little bit more. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. Template. Brand. Okay, B navbar. So I'm going to style that. Style /style and B navbar. Actually, I can just take a look inside. Let me inspect. Yep, I was complaining. Let me just get rid of that for a second. Okay, let's inspect. I just want to see what container that navbar is in. Div ID, app, nav. Okay, so it is in a nav container, so we can style that. So nav, let's do that. Go back over here, nav. And what do I want it to do? I want the width to be 80%. I want margin to be 10 pix auto, so that way that bar centers, and that should take care of that. And there you go. See, that looks a little bit nicer. Okay, cool. So that's a header, and again, you can sit there and customize that header some more. Like over here is, take a look, template, brand, sort. Let's see where that logo is. Tag router to. Okay, so it's using an image. Okay, so we'll just call this Notes app. I should change that to Notes app. Okay, and then we could like put a span around that, change the font, make it look cool. Okay. There's this drop down menu. You can basically go in there and just figure all this stuff out. Okay. Now let's do a footer. So let's borrow the footer. I think that's actually going to be in layouts and elements. Footer. So this is actually going to take us straight to the Bulma documentation, to the native Bulma footer. And I'm just going to copy that right over. Copy. And I'm going to head over to the footer component. Create a template tag. And plop that right in there. Cool. Now again, I need to set this up with the script tag. Okay. And again, I have to give the component a name, so this is going to be called footer. Save. Okay, then let's go bring that back in over there at app. So I'm just going to copy this line here, Control C. So we're going to import footer from footer.view. And we add footer. Save. Okay. So now, well, actually I have to put the footer component somewhere in here. So I have to use it. Footer. There we go. And see, there's the footer. Okay, so now basically, again, we can go customize the footer, change the colors, do whatever we want with that footer there. But now that that's set up, you're kind of having a page that kind of looks like we're getting somewhere. Okay, and I can switch between these first couple pages. I'm going to get rid of this sign up button. We're just going to have a login button. So let's do that. So let me go back to header and find where that sign up button is. About, contact, login, sign up. I'm going to get rid of this button here. Okay. And honestly, I don't really need the rest of these links, but I won't get rid of them yet. So let's just see that changed. It should be only... Yep, so it's just the login button now. Okay. And what we're going to do is go to views. That's where the different, where you'd create your different pages. I'm going to copy the home one. Okay, I'm going to copy this, paste it. I guess it didn't let me do that. Okay, let me duplicate it. Okay, I guess it just wants me to make a new thing. So new file, login.view. This will be our login component for our login page. And I'm just going to copy everything from here just to kind of give us our start. Okay, and then I want to export this. This is going to be this component is going to be called login. So I want to make sure that that's exported that way. We're not going to use any components in this at the moment. And so I'm just copy all that. And I'm going to empty all this out. Okay, so it's really just right now just an empty page. The login components, again, we have our template, we have our script tag. Okay, and again, if you haven't watched sort of my intro to Vue CLI videos before, or have worked with the Vue CLI before, I recommend watching those videos. That's going to make this make a lot more sense. Because again, this doesn't have the same quite colorization as using like VS Code to edit your Vue files. I'm sure there probably is a Vue plugin for PyCharm, but I'm here as it is. Okay, so now that I have the view set up, I'm going to go to the router, and this is where we add our different views. So I'm going to copy the import of home, but now I'm going to import login. And it's login from login.view. And then I'm going to copy the home route and paste it. And I want this one to point to /login, and it's going to be called login, and it's going to point to the login component. Okay, so now that that's created in that routes folder, I can now go back to my navigation, which is in header, and add a link to that. So I'm going to copy the link to home, copy, head over to that login button. Where's that login button? Okay, I'm going to just paste this there because we don't need an A tag anymore. Well, we need this, but it's going to be the /login. And it's going to say login. Okay, so now when I go here and I refresh the page, there's my login button. And I should be able to hit it. And say it takes us to an empty page because there's nothing in that component yet. But it works. Okay. So that's a good start. So what we do, we created like a header and footer component. We installed router, we installed Buefy, so that way we have these tools to our access. So the next step will be to actually build out that login component so we can log in. And then take it, which will then take us to like a page where we will show our and we just have to kind of think through how we're going to move the data in and out as we do that. So we'll do that over the next few videos. I'll see you guys there. Ciao.